Hello and welcome to You and Your Health. I'm Dr. Lawrence Dorman and we're going to talk about high blood pressure or hypertension. Many people are treated for hypertension with drugs, and which is very, very common, but there are many things to do that can help you lower your blood pressure and many natural products that you can take to help do so. Number one is cut back your salt intake. If you eat a lot of salt, don't add salt to your foods. Most prepared foods that you buy in the grocery store already have salt in them as a preservative. Number two, increase the potassium in your diet. That's very, very helpful in eliminating salt from your water, particularly high pH water, or water that has a pH of over 7.5. And you can increase that pH by putting Alcapro in your water 3 or 4 times a day, and that will help wash out the excess salt. Number 4, there's a product called APC, which is a natural Chinese herbal product which is very, very commonly used in the United States to treat blood pressure. And you can take this to lower your blood pressure, and it has no side effects almost without exception. Number 4 is you can start exercising. Walking is wonderful to help lower blood pressure. If you can walk 30 minutes to an hour a day, your blood pressure will slowly begin to come down. It may raise a little bit initially while you're walking, but after you sit down for 5 or 10 minutes, when you're through walking, it will come on down. Also, by cutting back on coffee, refined sugars such as pop, which has lots of sugar, carbonated drinks of all types, and eating too much meat, all these things will help cut your blood pressure down. If you're on a high blood pressure medication, you can still do these things without interfering with the activity of the medication. If you have further questions or comments, please email us at applewood2001@aol.com or call us at 816-358.
And don't smoke charas, hashish, because it's rare in this country, but smoke bud, flowering tops of marijuana. But if you actually eat hashish, you can convince yourself this was the LSD of the ancient world in the 19th century. You know, Theodore Gautier and Baudelaire and Verlaine, Rimbaud, that crowd. There was this thing called the Society of the Hashashin in Paris, and they met at the old Hotel de Lyon on the left bank, and ate jellied cannabis that they were getting from Morocco with little silver spoons. And the descriptions of these experiences make it clear that this was operating. They're not more florid or less florid than the descriptions of LSD that we get from Aldous Huxley and Tim Leary in the early 1960s. I mean, this stuff was taking them away. I don't advise you to...
Be careful who you steal weed from. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? So this is a story that happened to me and a friend of mine. A few years ago, there was this house down the street from us, and it got busted by the cops for being a grow house for weed. So like 3 or 4 days later, me and my buddy, we got this idea of going in there and seeing if the cops left any weed or, equipment or anything behind that we could take. So we walk into this abandoned house, and the first thing we see is a raccoon right on top of a weed plant, just eating that thing up. Well, the first thing I saw was the weed plant, then the raccoon, but that's only natural. So this raccoon must have been tripping balls, because when it saw us, it didn't try to run, it just gave us this evil stare like it wanted to bite my face off. Or like Satan took over that raccoon just so he could eat that weed plant. So I took a look at the weed plant, and then I took a look at the evil raccoon, and then I took a look at how close they were to each other, and I decided getting that weed plant probably isn't worth getting rabies. But I had to try anyway, so I reached out for the plant, and that fucking raccoon started showing its teeth to me like it was gonna kill me. So at that point I stopped, and I had to come up with some sort of plan on how to get this weed plant from the raccoon. I went over to my friend so I could create a plan, and I said to him, hey, why don't you just try to swipe that plant out from underneath the raccoon real quick? He probably won't even notice you're going for it. So I don't know why, maybe it's because he's a little slow in the head, but he listened to me. He reached out for that weed plant, and before he could even touch the leaves, that raccoon jumped on his arm and started attacking him. So I assessed the situation, and I came up with the only rational thing I could think of doing. I grabbed that weed plant, and I got the fuck out of there. And then I yelled some encouraging words to my friend. You're on your own! Okay, so in case you're wondering, my friend's okay, he didn't get rabies or anything. But it could have been worse. That raccoon could have jumped on his face like that episode from Family Guy. It would have just been like, alright man, you wait here, I'm gonna try to swipe that weed plant out from underneath. Oh!